I feel so numb. I can feel you here. Is it happening right now?
I'm just combing.
Oh.
Your eyebrows.
So it's slicing my, am I bleeding?
Yeah.
Don't be alarmed about this. I just really want to show and explain everything to you before you judge what this looks like. So, brows. If the eyes are the windows to the soul, then the eyebrows are the curtains to the soul. Or more scientifically, they are structures that prevent debris and sweat and other things from getting into your eye sockets. And the shape of them can drastically change the overall look of your face. So my brows are definitely asymmetrical, which is normal. There's a lot of sparse and bald areas, and they kind of grow at different rates. Like some pieces are longer and some pieces are shorter. I haven't touched my brows in over 5 years now, and I thought it was time that I get some professional help. So this video is a documentation of my quest to get the perfect brows.
You know how I have to fill in everything? I won't have to do it anymore, so it's gonna look like this. Bye! Say goodbye to my little friends.
Bye.
So we're outside CAREYOU Beauty, and I'm gonna go in for my first consultation. They're gonna see what they can do, and then we'll make the appointment if I want to go through with it later. Oh wait, this isn't it. Here it is. I went in for a consultation, and during that she checked my skin to see if it was okay to do the procedure on, and then we figured out my desired brow shape and method, because I think they have 2 or 3 methods of doing the brows. In the 1920s, we saw the pencil-thin, rounded brow as a popular look. Since the 20s marked the beginning of the cosmetic industry, women began drawing in their eyebrows with their new makeup tool, a dark pencil. In the 1930s, the rounded arch was still in, but it got lifted. The downward rounded eyebrows of the 1920s sort of gave people this sad expression, so this new approach made people look a lot happier even though they were going through some difficult times. The 1940s was marked by the heavy arch. Men went off to war, and then women filled more traditional male roles in society. So the thicker, more natural brow really went along with the mentality of this period. In the 1950s, the pointed arch was all the craze before turning into a full brow in the 1960s. The 1970s went back to a thinner arch, and then the 1980s was back to a thick brow, and then back to a skinny in the 90s. Not only skinny, but also darker, because the 90s was a time of dark lip liner and dark brows. The early 2000s continued with the pencil brow, and during this time, waxing off more was in. My mom had a waxing machine at home, so I could do my own eyebrows, and so I ended up with the same over-plucked, over-waxed fatality that happened to so many of this time. The 2010s is where microblading really took off, and I'd say now it's more about having brows that best suit your face or look more natural rather than going for a certain shape. And of course, I have to mention in the late 2010s is where we saw people throwing away any brow traditions and just doing whatever they want. I thought microblading was a relatively new thing. I mean, I know I'm late to the game to do it. Everyone has done it already by now. But most sources say that it started in China over 25 years ago. It was just called something else. In Chinese culture, from a feng shui perspective, your brows can actually tell a lot about your personality, your health, and your fortune. And there's this really famous feng shui master called Mac Ling Ling, who I actually had the amazing opportunity of meeting a couple years back. But she's quoted for saying that if your hairs go upward, that means you're sharp-witted and love to take risk. And if your hairs go downward, that means you don't really like taking risks. Maybe that is the reason why people started altering their brows in China and therefore altering their fortunes a long time ago.
Good morning, everybody. Today is the big day where I'm gonna have my brow transformation, and honestly, I was just staring at them and I don't feel like they're that bad now. I don't know if they're like playing mind games with me. They're looking kind of cute this morning. Maybe I'm just a bit terrified too, because I know this is semi-permanent for a year, so it's kind of a big commitment. year's kind of a long, it's really not a long time, but it is a long time. I don't know, I just need to trust her. I know Carrie is really good and she's gonna take care of me. It's gonna be fine, but I don't know. This is the last time they're gonna look like this. You can see there's a lot of spaces in the tail ends. I'm not so bad at the beginning, but it's like just a little bit at the bottoms and the tail ends. So what I tend to do is brush this part up, and then I'll sort of comb over this part to make like that little triangle shape, and then this. So like I do different brush strokes, different comb over techniques, if you will, to cover the bald spots, and then I fill them in. This one has way less hair, but it's not that bad on the tail end. So they both have different things to offer me, but they're a little bit different and they have some spots that could use some filling in. Also, I'm kind of scared because I can't do any eyebrow trends after these are done. This is gonna be the end of my eyebrow trends. Should I do it? I need a sign. Oh no, I think I just got a sign. What? I was asking God for a sign of if I should do this or not.
So, did you get any sign?
Then you said, what did you say? I said I need a sign, and you're like, what did you say? But you're not God, so you don't count. Your opinion doesn't count, don't tell me. He's scared I'm gonna make them like crazy thick. He doesn't know what to expect. I'm gonna make them how I wanna make them. All right. I need to get some makeup on and get this Flemish cream off my face. This one has a bit more of an arch and this one is a bit more straight. So I sort of bring some hairs from underneath to make that arch. I kind of feel like I'm the coach of some team. Like you go that way, you go that way, you stay there. You cover this area. Every day I have a game plan and I just put everything in place and hopefully it works out.
It's time for my appointment. I actually did light and natural makeup today because this is a makeup I usually wear and I want her to make the eyebrows suit this face of mine. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna head to the room. Goodbye, my eyebrows. Goodbye, my eyebrows. Why are you taking the headphones off? Keep them in. So today, how does it work? Do we draw them again and then what's the process today?
Today I will, the whole procedure will take around 1.5 hours, including design time and then numbing time, and also the treatment procedure.
How do you decide, like, what's the perfect eyebrow shape for people?
It really depends on each individual's face structure.
Okay.
And,
so like the bone shape.
Yeah, the bone shape. We have a golden ratio.
A golden ratio.
Usually we can follow the golden ratio to find out the front, the arch, and then the tail position of your eyebrows.
And I saw you have some male patients. Is it really popular amongst men?
Yeah, we have male clients every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like every 2 days. You want your eyebrow more straight or more a little bit curved? Which?
I want the bottom more straight and then the top just a slight arch.
Here it's more sparse.
Yeah.
Right. So I will add more.
And then this tail was better and this tail was worse, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's okay.
So you can close your eyes. Now I just need to use a waterproof pen to mark down the design.
First, Carrie drew out my eyebrows again and we sort of altered them until I really loved them. Then she applied numbing cream on it.
This is a numbing cream?
Comfort cream can minimize the pain.
Is it painful?
Depends on individuals, but we are using the manual method, so it's really gentle. It's much more gentle than machine. 佢呢個係有14支白色嘅針組成嘅。咁就
What's happening?
The blade.
The blade.
I'm looking at the blade.
Oh. So it's
Nano needle.
There's needles on it. So it's not exactly like a blade.
Yeah. So that's why we don't use.
Did you just call it cute?
Yeah. I was cute and I was like, what I say cute? It's actually cute anyway.
Sometimes people call it like micro embroidery.
Oh.
I feel so numb. I can feel you here. Is it happening right now?
I'm just combing
Oh.
your eyebrows, and then you can see the pattern of your brows going direction.
Oh, I was gonna say, I can't feel anything. This is great.
And then the procedure started.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you can close your eyes.
Okay, the whole time? I can't feel anything. I think it's the noise that bothers me more. It sounds like someone scraping my bone.
So is that actually like tattooing then?
Yeah, but different tools.
So it's slicing my, am I bleeding?
Yep.
Just like paper cuts.
So what you see here is tiny superficial cuts being created along my brow line, and then ink is deposited into the skin through the wound. Which sounds really scary and painful, but it actually isn't. I didn't feel it.
It's actually completely painless. I don't feel anything.
For tattoos, the ink is actually deposited quite deep into the skin, whereas microblading only gets into the first upper layer of skin, so it fades a lot quicker. A final layer of pigment was applied, and then the whole area was cleaned up, and voila!
I'm all finished the microblading, and it was actually quite painless. When the numbing cream wore off at the end, when she was adding a few extra strokes, that was painful. That was when it felt like paper cuts. But before that, it was really painless and actually kind of relaxing. I didn't mind it. She said right now the color is a lot darker. It's gonna be absorbed a lot and get lighter over time. And also right now, she had to add a lot more on this side because this side was a lot thinner. So right now this side looks a lot thicker than this side, but as it forms scabs and absorbs, it's going to become a lot thinner and yeah, less dark, I guess. So that it will even out eventually. It definitely looks more youthful. Okay? Yes. Does it?
Yeah.
Thicker, right? Yeah, you said it last time.
I actually feel like you already look younger.
Because of her shape.
Yeah.
Can you tell me again?
Wow, you look so much younger.
Thank you.
With that being said, honestly, they were a lot darker and more uneven than I was expecting. Fair enough, because she said that's normal. But I was sort of feeling unsure and not ready to show people what they look like.
Stop. What did you just say?
What?
What did you just say in landmark?
I don't want people to see me yet because I want to keep these hidden for a week.
Yeah, but what are you doing
finished.
now?
I don't know.
You can't run, you can't sweat.
I'm gonna blend in with this.
So, in the presence of all these mixed feelings, I set out into the world in search of comfort in the form of French fries. Alright, I'm home now, and I had a little bit of a freak out at the microblading place because I realized some of the hairs are angled differently, like she put them in differently, and my idea of microblading was to make your brows very symmetrical, but then she explained to me how most people's aren't at all, and if they were, it would be weird. Like if your face is completely symmetrical, it almost looks robotic or like AI. So she showed me these photos of Angelina Jolie and like how her eyebrows are slightly different, and if they were the same on both sides, it just, I don't know, something looks off. So these little imperfections are really beautiful. And then I was like, oh, I get it now. If my eyebrows are like angle by angle, point by point, the exact same, it kind of, I don't know, it loses, my face loses its character maybe. So I'm good now. She said we can fine tune it anyways. I'm gonna have a follow-up appointment. She said the minimum time is 45 days and the maximum is 6 months. I know, they're dark and they're bold, and commanding your full attention right now. So I came home last night, everything was fine. I didn't and still don't feel itchy or any discomfort in this area. The only thing that was a bit difficult was washing my makeup off of my face, because I usually take an oil cleanser and just rub it all over my face and like get all the dirt and makeup off, and then I'll wipe it clean with a face cloth, and that's usually my method. But now I need to completely avoid this area because you can't get this wet at all for 2 days. So no water on the area, and of course you can't touch or rub it, so you have to be mindful even when you sleep. So I kept thinking, sleep straight on your back, don't put your face in the pillow like you usually do. And somehow I woke up touching my eyebrow, like rubbing it. I think I subconsciously was like, don't touch your eyebrow, don't touch your eyebrow, Taylor, don't touch your eyebrow. And then my like naughty inner self was like in my sleep. I don't know. But I hope this one's okay. It was this one. When I woke up this morning and looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my God, this is getting so dark. I'm kind of terrified. But then my second thought was, hello, Cara Delevingne. But thankfully yesterday, Carey warned me about this and they gave me this pamphlet explaining everything, or else I'd be crying right now. But it says, your eyebrows will appear 40 to 90% darker on the second and third day after the treatment. This is the color of the scab formed above the pigment. Stay calm and be patient. Honestly, this is making me want to throw on a darker wig, change up my makeup, and just be a different person for the day. Like a darker, more exotic alter ego. Alright, what do we think? How do we feel about this look? I think the lips are a bit much for me, but other than that, I actually really like this dark hair. Let me remove this. At the same time, I kind of feel like that girl from The Craft. Today is day 3. It's Thursday. I did them on Tuesday, so I guess that would be day 1. Yesterday was day 2. Today's day 3. And let's do the grand reveal. They're darker than ever. They're just getting darker and darker. So am I happy with the results? I don't know yet because this ain't it. I have to wait and see what's gonna happen. But I do know I'm in good hands, and from what Carey told me, as well as looking up pictures online comparing my results to theirs, it is gonna scab and then fall off, and the pigment will be under the surface of my skin, so my skin tone will be on top, and it will result in a lighter color as well as probably a more gray or ashy tone if my skin's mixed in. Everything's gonna be fine. But yeah, this is where the video is gonna end with no real conclusion or final result. Because if I don't put out this video telling you I did this, you guys would be very confused in the next video when I have new eyebrows, or I wouldn't be able to post a video for 2 weeks, and I don't wanna do that. Yes, I should have pre-filmed, but I'm no Sophia Nygaard, and I don't have anything pre-filmed. So yeah, you'll be able to see the results though if you continue watching and you check back in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to see what they look like, or you check my Instagram. So some final tips for you. If you are considering this now, be aware that you aren't able to wash your eyebrows, get any water on them, or any sweat or anything like that. So you can't properly shower and wash your hair for 2 days. I actually didn't wash my hair for 2 days prior to the treatment, so I'm on day 4 of oily hair right now, and dry shampoo is my best friend, so make sure you have that ready. You have to avoid direct sunlight, but you also can't put on sunscreen. So recently I've been a creature of the night, except for the occasional walk of my dog, or if I had to go get groceries, for example. So my solution to that issue is to carry an umbrella. I just got some groceries and I'm heading back home. It is a gorgeous sunny day out, and yes, I am carrying an umbrella. I'm so happy that I live in Asia where it's completely acceptable to carry an umbrella when it's sunny out, because if I did this in Canada, I'm pretty sure I'd get some weird looks. Nope, here too. And lastly, do a ton of research and find a really good, reputable microblading artist, because I've seen some horror stories, and although these are semi-permanent, which is a good thing, because like I told you guys before, there has been a lot of different brow trends, and you may want to change up the look of your brows later. for certain things, like when you age, your face changes slightly because your muscle decreases, or like, I don't know, just gravity pulls things down, so you might want to lift your brows up higher, who knows. You might want to change them. So it's good that they're semi-permanent, but they do last 2 years. So you will have to get through 2 years of having this brow look. So that's it. That's my unfinished brow story. I just want to tell you guys that, so if you see me in photos or upcoming videos or video thumbnails, you're not confused and you know exactly what's going on. I'm excited to see the final result in a weekish, I hope. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys again on Sunday with my weekly vlog. Until then, goodbye.